Oh my god, I can't believe it is actually time to start this moving diaries series. It feels so weird to talk about this because I've known about this for months, but I haven't wanted to say anything online because I didn't want to jinx it, and also because everyone keeps telling me it's so likely to fall through. Like, the stats of house sales that fall through are insane. So my parents, my grandparents, everyone keeps telling me that until I've exchanged, to assume that it might fall through. So I suppose it still could fall through, but it's kind of, you know, it's looking very positive at the moment. For context, you guys are more up to date than me. I believe the last video on this channel will have been some sort of announcement where I talk through the whole plan in a way that is more coherent than I currently feel. But basically, if you haven't seen that video, very condensed version, my boyfriend Charlie and I and our 2 cats are moving out of London to Norwich, which is where I grew up and where my family live. The plan as it stands at the moment, although it all feels so vague right now, is to move out of here and into kind of an annex, which is on the side of my grandparents' house. They rent it out, and the people who currently live in it gave their notice a little while ago, which was very handy. So the timing has worked out very well, and we're going to live there for, we don't know how long, but probably realistically a few months until we figure out what to buy and buy it. We're kind of looking right now, but obviously the buying process takes a long time, and I'm someone who gets overwhelmed fairly easily, and so is Charlie, if we're being honest about it. And I just thought, actually, the thought of having to pack up, you know, like how when you move from one house into another house, I have never sold a house before. This is the first flat I ever owned, and it's not like renting where you can like overlap your tenancy by a couple of weeks or a week or so to try and do it slowly, which is what I always used to do. Like, because I'm selling this one and buying a new one, obviously I need to have the money from selling this one to buy the new one, so it all has to be done in one day. So the thought of trying to pack everything we own into a van here on the morning, drop the keys off, drive to Norwich, pick up the keys. We're also buying a project, so like when we first get the keys to the new place, it's going to be a dive probably. So the thought of moving everything out of here in one day and driving sort of 3 to 4 hours with the cats, with everything we own, and then depositing everything into somewhere that like needs everything doing to it, and then just going, and we live here now. I just couldn't, like, it was so overwhelming, and I'm so lucky that we had the option to be able to stay with Nanny and Grandad for a bit. So we are going to do that while we figure out our next step, because also obviously I know Norwich really well because I lived there for years, 20 something years before I moved here, but Charlie has never lived there. So in terms of like areas and stuff, he doesn't really know the ins and outs. We've been doing a lot of driving around. We're going to do some viewings probably later on in this video actually, and we're really going to take our time, make sure that we find the right thing, or that is my plan for the minute anyway. As I said, there should already be an announcement video up on this channel that has a bit more information. As it stands at the moment, you know more than I do. Like, if I've just said something that contradicts what I said in the last video, trust her, because I'm going to film that probably the same day I post it, whereas this, I'm months ago. I don't know anything right now, and I'm so painfully aware of that. I have no idea what this process entails right now. I've moved house a lot in my life. I moved around a lot as a kid. This is actually the house I've lived in for the longest my whole life, which is crazy, and it's so weird to be leaving it. I've loved this phase of my life. I'm gonna get emotional if I talk about it, so let's move on. Anyway, I've moved a lot in my life. I wasn't responsible for the moves as a child, so I didn't have to be involved in the process. And then obviously after that I was renting for a while and moving from different rented places. And then I ended my tenancy at my last rented place because I was living with one of my best friends and she went to Australia, and I knew that I was buying here. So we ended the tenancy when she went away, and then for a few months I lived with my grandparents. So it didn't matter when I moved, to an extent, because, you know, they weren't gonna kick me out and lock the door behind me or anything. So this move to London was very relaxed. The move out of London I'm finding kind of difficult because we don't know what date we're moving, and I think this is the major difference that I'm experiencing between when I was moving when renting versus moving having bought and sold. I don't have a date, and there was there's a very small chance that I might need to be out of here by Monday, but it is very small now because I don't think the paperwork will be ready in time. But there's like a stamp duty threshold changing at the beginning of next week, so at one point we were going to have to be out by then, and the place at my grandparents isn't ready until mid-May, so I was going to have to figure out something for the interim. But I think because of how long the process of selling the flat has taken, flats take a long time to sell because there's like a management company involved, because obviously they own the building. So it's quite a time-intensive process. Yeah, it's really weird not knowing exactly when we're going to be moving out, and I think that's actually the thing that I found the hardest, to be honest. Like, I'm excited by the whole process, and I don't care when I move out. Like, ultimately, if someone said to me, you do actually need to be out by Monday, I would pack everything up and go, because I just want this bit to be over. I feel like I'm in limbo. But yeah, the difficulty is not knowing what date that's going to be, because you have to wait for everything to be done, and then apparently you and the buyer then agree on a date, and then you exchange contracts, and that means that you're like locked in. I've had to learn so much about this process, and I'm sure there is still so much to learn. I might do a separate video about that actually, because even when I started this process and I accepted the offer, I said to the estate agent, could you send me a list of like what needs to happen now? And he sent me a list, and there've still been so many steps that weren't on that list. So let me know if you want a video about like the process and things that I've learned about moving house and things I've learned about selling a house, and like, I don't know, some words of wisdom about that. Let me know if that would be helpful to you. But basically, I'm just along for the ride right now, and I don't know when we're going to be moving, and hopefully we'll be going straight to my grandparents' house, but if we need to move too soon, then we won't be. My best case scenario is moving at the end of May. That means we have about 8 weeks today until my ideal date to move, but I doubt I'm gonna get that long, because understandably the buyer wants to be in as soon as possible. I feel like for a couple of weeks now I've been like aware that I need to do something about it, but I've been like frozen with stress. I haven't really done anything useful, but that's got to change, and that's why I'm starting this video, to hold myself accountable, because I need to start that process. So I'm going to do lots of decluttering. I'm going to start doing little bits of packing here and there, and I think the most important thing at this stage is that I just do little steps every day until I have more information. So whenever I get that date, I will be closer to being ready for it than I currently am, because right now I'm not very ready. I'm incredibly overwhelmed. I would also like to point out, if in this video I'm saying I need to do this, I'm moving everything, I'm doing, that's not to say that Charlie is not helpful. He's incredibly helpful and very on it with things like that. However, I work from home full time, Charlie works in the office most of the time, and I obviously am filming my like declutters and stuff, which kind of falls under the work category. So like, I've deliberately said to him, like, please don't touch any of the clutter, like please let me do that, because that's content for me and I want to film those videos. Also, he doesn't own this flat, I do, and I've lived in this flat for 7 years and he's only lived in it for 1. So the vast majority of stuff in here is mine, let's be honest. So it is my responsibility to sort it out, and he is very helpful. I just don't want it to look like I'm doing everything and he's not pulling his weight, because that is not true. He very much pulls his weight. And also, I'm going to be filming these videos like mostly during the day, so it is mostly going to be just me doing the stuff, but that is not a reflection of what the truth is of our like job distribution in this household. I'm living off energy drinks right now, and it's not sustainable, but it is the only thing keeping me going. And this is only the beginning of the process. Oh God, right, where do we start? Eliza, can I ask, what do you think about moving? Eliza, what do you make of the rumours that you're moving house? No comment. Fair enough. She says she loves all the boxes, but she's glad it's not her problem. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is a whole day of I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually about to pack my first boxes. Every time I put a box down anywhere, I come back to it and there's a cat in it. Okay, I'll go and get another box there. Right, so basically, I'm going to Norwich tomorrow for my sister's birthday. Considering there's not that many weeks to go till we need to be out, it would be silly to go all the way there with an empty car. So it's obviously very handy that so many of my family members live in Norwich. So we've been lucky enough that some of them have offered to let us keep some stuff in their lofts or in their garages to save us some money on storage in the interim between when we move out of this place and buy a new place. My mum has said that I can put 10 boxes worth of stuff in her loft, but it's not very accessible, so we're probably not going to have access to those boxes until we move into the new place. Like, it's not the kind of thing where we can come in and out like a storage locker, or if we keep them in like the garage at my grandparents. So I need to think really carefully about what I'm going to put in these boxes, because I'm probably not going to see these boxes until we actually move into the new place, which I'm kind of thinking will probably be like towards the end of summer. So I'm trying to be really smart about what I won't need until then. First thing that sprung to mind is like winter coats. I also didn't want to put anything super heavy up there because you have to lift it above your head. I'm just trying to be smart about it all, and I think this is the beauty of doing it all quite early, is that like I can kind of take that time to think about what makes the most sense. I love this coat so much. It feels so weird to be putting this stuff away knowing I won't touch it until like the winter, although I probably wouldn't touch it until the winter anyway because it'd just be sat in this cupboard. I actually decluttered this cupboard last week, and it feels so weird filming those declutters because I think it probably looks on the outside like I've just suddenly become so brutal with no like trigger, but obviously I know, and now you know, that it's because we're moving, and I don't want to take up valuable storage space, whether it's like at my family members or a paid for storage unit. I don't want to take up that space with stuff that I will ultimately end up getting rid of anyway. So I'm trying to be really sensible and really brutal with myself about what's staying and what's going. God, are my coats really going to take up 3 boxes? I think they might. Right, is there anything else in here? Like, are there any shoes that I'm not going to need until the winter? Although I don't want anything too heavy. Yeah, probably not shoes. Oh, I've had an idea. I'm not sure if this is the correct suitcase. Oh, I've just seen a glimpse of sparkle. It is. I have got all of my like Christmas sparkles here. That can definitely go in a box. Oh, I think I just loosened the seal on this vacuum pack bag. Right, let me reseal that. Oh yeah. Why can I hear air escaping? I can hear air escaping, but I can't work out where from. It sounds like... Oh my god, there's a tiny rip in the bag. I bet that's a cat claw. Cats are in the shoe cupboard. Well, oh, I could probably tape it up. It was around here somewhere. Ah, I see it. Okay. That has done it. Obviously, as soon as I undo it, I'm going to have to buy a new bag, which is so annoying. Okay, some Christmas pyjamas and jumpers and things. Yeah, these can come as well. I filled 3 boxes out of the 10. I'm going to need to give this some thought and come back to it later this evening once I've been out for dinner and to the theatre with Charlie. But those 3 boxes make the flat feel no different, and that is making me realise quite how much work there is to go. Like, that's like a third of what I'm getting rid of right now. Is 10 boxes not even going to make a dent? Surely! Surely not! We are on our way to our first house viewing. So we've got quite a few lined up today, and the aim of the game is just to have a bit of a chat about what we actually want to buy. We think we want a project, so we're going to have a look at a few at like quite a big price range and try and figure out where within that price range it's
not a high price range, a big price range.
Like as in there's like a big gap between the cheapest and the most expensive one that we're looking at, because we're trying to work out what like, because we want to save some money for renovations, we don't want to max out the budget, so we're trying to work out where the sweet spot is between like paying enough that we get something that little bit like bigger or nicer, but also not paying so much that it like screws us over basically. So I have booked all of these viewings. Charlie has not seen most of the properties because he wanted to see them for the first time in person and be able to build his impression based on that, not on listing. So I've been having great fun on Rightmove, booking all of these in. And obviously because we're living in London at the moment, we've had to book them all in like in one day because we've had to come to Norwich specifically. So it's going to be a bit full on. But our first one, let me pop you down. So our first one is a semi-detached bungalow. It says it's got ample off-road parking, which we like.
Interesting.
And a modern shower room, so slay. And it says on the listing that there's an opportunity to renovate and extend, which is what we're really looking for.
Nice.
So I think it's kind of the wrong side of the city. It's not really the side of the city that I necessarily would like to be. But obviously if it's the perfect house apart from that, then maybe we'd consider it. So we're gonna have a look. What?
Oh, it must be the bananas.
Well, first viewing done.
That was amazing.
We loved it.
Well, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it's amazing.
Like, well, no, the carpets were hideous, but like actually the bones of the house were fantastic. It's got a really lovely big garden.
The thing is, I'm so, looking at that, I can really see the potential, and it's so weird. Yeah. I think like there was a few bits like the kitchen, like my god, how I would change how it looks in the plan
the layout of it as well. Like I actually think that kitchen would be big enough to fit an island in, which is like my dream, if it was laid out slightly differently. Yeah, fantastic.
There's lots and lots of potential in that. The garden was huge, which again, living in London at the moment, I miss green spaces. So yeah, on to the next, I think.
Yes, on to the next one. Okay, I feel like that's been a really good start. I think both of us immediately walked in and went, oh, I can see how we could make this really nice.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have more luck elsewhere as well, and then we can go from there. Oh my god, this is fun. I'm so nosy. I love looking in people's houses. Imagine us living somewhere this surrounded by fields.
Yeah.
Having lived in London for like 7 years now, that is wild to me. Literally just as I stopped filming, an old tractor came around the corner. It was like, I wish I'd held on for like 5 extra seconds. Okay. Next property. This is another 3-bed, but this one is detached. It's got a conservatory, which I don't know really how I feel about. But it's got a separate lounge and kitchen, which I'm very keen on. I think the layout of this one is nice. And it's a house, not a bungalow.
It's a house?
Yeah, so it's got, it's quite a small house, like in terms of how, you know, how much space it takes up. But the kitchen, lounge and hallway and a small bathroom are on the bottom floor. And then 3 bedrooms and a bigger bathroom on the first floor.
Interesting. This already sounds very positive.
Yeah. But this one that we're going to now is actually 10 grand cheaper than the one we've just looked at.
And would you, okay.
And it's detached in a house.
I'm not even going to ask the question that I was.
What?
I was going to say, do you reckon it's in a better state?
Maybe.
I think.
Slightly. Although I'm less keen on the area of this next one.
Okay. Why?
It's an
okay.
Which some people have no issue with, but I just have bad personal connotations too. So I don't know if it's got bad vibes for me, but we'll find out.
Like more than I am willing to put in.
Yeah, that would need a lot of work doing. And also, we're not keen on the road that it's on. The area of the first one definitely felt a bit nicer, but
I think especially moving from London, I think we're wanting something slightly quieter.
Yeah, we want something quiet, and this one is right opposite a high school, so certain times of day the absolute opposite of quiet. But I did like the fact that it was on 2 floors.
Yeah.
I like the thought of having a bit of separation between like where we like sleep and chill.
Yeah.
And although I suppose the sleeping would be upstairs, the chill would be downstairs, and the offices would probably be upstairs as well. But like, I like the fact that it's on 2 floors. I'm excited to see. Where is it? Yeah. I'm excited to see more houses, and I like the fact that it was detached because it means I wouldn't worry about annoying any neighbours too much with our renovation noise.
I don't know whether anyone else agrees with this. I think the thing is, like, I know a lot of the time that you can't just base things off vibes. If you're buying somewhere though...
No, there is an element of vibes that comes into it, I think, because you have to feel good about it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of the time that you can't just base things off vibes, but when you're then buying somewhere, you have to kind of think, okay...
Do I feel happy here?
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, like, there were parts of it where I thought, actually, this is nice. Like, I liked the layout of the kitchen and living room. I like how big the hallway was. I thought the hallway was lovely, apart from that weird stain on the stairs. Did you see that? I took a video of it, I'll show you later. The fact that it had a pond was fun, but if I'm being honest, I can't be bothered to maintain a pond, so that would have to come out. I don't know. That was fun. I'm glad we looked, but it's not our house. It's not our house. On to number 3. Right, that was the biggest one we're viewing today. That was a 4-bed. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I think like that would be definitely a project, like much more of a project than I think the other ones would be.
We'd have to get incredibly into gardening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I didn't.
There were parts of it that I really liked. The idea of having 4 bedrooms is crazy to me. But again, the bedrooms apart from one were very small.
Yeah.
Not very small, but quite small.
Yeah, quite pokey.
Which I suppose, you know, it's a 4-bedroom house, they're not going to be massive, but like, I think I would rather have a 3-bedroom or even a 2-bedroom with bigger bedrooms. I
also question the value, like the top value of that, like, is because they've already done the extension.
Yeah.
Like what?
Oh, I see what you mean. So it's already been extended once, so would we be able to add much value? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is have a look at the neighbours and see if any of them seem to have extended outwards. Because the people who were in it before extended up, but not out. Whereas I think we'd want to extend. I think we'd want a bigger kitchen than that, really. Ideally, we spend a lot of time in the kitchen.
I'm more wanting like a bit of a social kitchen.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That one had, is it called a galley kitchen?
Yeah.
Where it's like long and thin, which I think, you know, it was nicely done and it was like a nice sized galley kitchen, but ultimately, like, yeah, if you're cooking in like a social way or if you've got people over while you're trying to cook, it's not, there's not really anywhere that they could park themselves that wouldn't be in the way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think we'd either have to try and figure out a way to, yeah, extend the kitchen in some way. Not sure. I like it less than the first one, but more than the second one.
I think the first one at the moment's
your favourite?
My favourite, unfortunately.
Fair, that's not unfortunate, that's fair enough. I actually think I agree with you.
For some reason I felt like something was slightly off.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Like, again, maybe it's just really run down because...
It is very run down. Yeah, fair. Okay. The next one is probably my favourite one based on the photos. Oh, the next one's the one with that weird workshop. I'm excited to see this workshop. The whole garden looks like it's been landscaped around people being able to visit the workshop without entering the house, and I can't work out what went on in this workshop, so I'm nosy, but also I just really like, it's got like big bay windows and I love bay windows. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, nice.
I like that one. That's kind of top end of our budget, but it's between that one and the first one we viewed today for me so far.
Yeah, I agree.
They're very different vibes though. Like that one you could move into, I mean, to be fair, to an extent you could move into the first one as well. Like, it's got a bathroom that looks decent. The rooms were bigger in that one than in the first one, and the sort of carpet and painting on the walls is fine to begin with. I really liked the bay windows. I really liked how bright it felt. I like the fact that there is a separate kitchen, dining room and living room. Like, that feels like the height of luxury to me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It is also a bungalow though, and we do like
a house.
Like an upstairs. But it feels a lot more like spread out than a lot of bungalows. I sort of forgot it was a bungalow.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, I didn't feel cramped in there at all.
Yeah, I think the thing is with a lot of bungalows you do feel fairly cramped.
I could really imagine the cats in there.
Yeah, you and me both.
Okay, speaking of the cats, we're gonna have a little break to go They're at my mum's, so we're going to go back and feed them and play with them for a bit, and then we're halfway through the day's viewings. We've got 4 more later, so we'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
I'm facing a fear today, guys. I've got a real thing about going to the charity shop, not to buy stuff, that's fine, but about going to a charity shop to give them my stuff. I always worry that they're gonna be like, oh, why do we want that? Like, no matter what it is, I don't know, I've got a real, I don't know, it like fills me with anxiety, but I've got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of books in here already, some mugs and stuff, and then also I've got a lot of DVDs that I've seen a lot of people on TikTok say that they like to go to charity shops and buy old DVDs, which has helped me a lot actually, because there are some absolute gems in here. But basically, I think I've mentioned before, I don't know if I have on YouTube, but I definitely have on TikTok, I often use this app called Zifit to like scan in old books and DVDs, and they are like a B Corp. I'm pretty sure they go to charity or they get recycled or something. I looked into it at one point, but I can't remember the details. And obviously when I'm decluttering, I'm really mindful about how I'm actually getting rid of stuff, because I don't want to just send it all to landfill. So Zifit's been really good for getting rid of like books and DVDs in a way that feels responsible, and CDs as well actually, but basically they don't take all books and DVDs, and it kind of changes what they do and don't take. So like one week you could scan something in and it would take it, or it wouldn't take it, and then the next week it would. It's actually not called Zifit anymore, it's called like We Sell Books or something. But if you type Zifit into the App Store, it does still come up, I've checked. If I've got like a referral link or anything, I'll put it in the description, because I think they do like a customer, it's not like an influencer thing, just like a customer referral thing. Because it's a really good way of getting rid of stuff if you're decluttering anyway. Basically, these are the DVDs and books that Zifit isn't taking at the moment, and I've had them in my house. I've tried them a few times, and each time like a few more has gone. And Zifit's really good because basically you get like a small amount of money per item. It's not loads, it's normally like 12p or something, but they give you an impost, like an impost locker label for free, and then you just pop it in an impost locker and get rid of it and send it off. So like, I don't really do it for the money, but there's not really a lot of money in it, but it's just the convenience really. Like, it's such an easy way to get rid of stuff without chucking it in the bin. So I'm just wrestling with this box to try and tape it shut. Yeah, but so these are all the books and DVDs that Zifit won't take yet, and the thing is, like, I could keep hold of them, try again in like a couple of weeks or something and see if it takes any more, but at this stage I just need to get the stuff out of my house. Like, I'm getting quite stressed about how much there still is to do. I know we've still got weeks to go, but it's going to really creep up on me, I know it is. So we're biting the bullet today. I'm just taking it to the charity shop, but turns out Jess actually needs to go to the charity shop as well. She's been doing a little clear out, so she's going to come with me so I don't get so anxious and weird about something that shouldn't make me anxious or weird. I feel like I've packed so much, but then when you actually look at it, it's just this box, which I suppose is a very heavy, and I suppose it is quite a big box. I'm gonna go out. Oh, we're having a bit of an issue at the moment. So you guys know, obviously, the cats are called Eponine and Eliza. Where are they? They were on that sofa. They don't really respond to their names very much. We think we've accidentally taught them that their name is Girls, because we call them that a lot. Like, we'll say that to them when we're referring to them like together, like before we tell them it's lunchtime or something. So look, I'll show you. Eponine, Eliza, Girls, Girls. Can you see her? She is looking. She didn't respond to her name at all. Eponine, Eliza, Girls, 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 do you want some food? Oh yeah, she knows the word food. Eliza, do you want some food? Oh, she got distracted on the way. What are you eating? She had a plastic band. Right. Girls, food. Do you want some food? Food. You had duck for breakfast. What do you want for lunch? What about some turkey? Turkey for lunch, like this? You're so cute. They're being extra cuddly at the moment. I feel like they can tell something's changing. Do you want some food? You do? Okay. Boxing car, Jesus Christ, that was heavy. I feel like I'm at a bit of a weird stage in the move right now where like putting most of my stuff in boxes feels a bit preemptive at the moment. Like obviously we're still not moving for like over a month, hopefully. And I don't want to feel like our lives have been turned upside down for ages and ages, because obviously we don't have like a final destination in mind yet either. So yeah, I don't want to like take all our stuff away too soon, but then at the same time I also, particularly like with my job, I've got a couple of trips coming up, and also you never really know when you're suddenly going to have like a really randomly busy week or couple of weeks, and I really hate turning down opportunities when they come my way, obviously because it is my job and that means turning down money, but also because it's fun, and I don't want to have to turn down any like fun London stuff in my last few weeks of being here, because it will be a lot harder for me to get here soon. Well, not a lot harder, but you know, it will be harder. So I'm trying to like preempt it as much as I can, and I think the most helpful thing that I can be doing at this stage is getting rid of anything that I know I don't want to come with us. So like this charity shop run, when I get home I'm going to put loads of stuff on Vinted. Yeah, the thing is, what I don't want is to get too close to the line and then have this issue where I don't have time to dispose of everything properly. Like I really don't want to just dump a load of it in the big bin, you know. I want to try and make sure that I'm giving it the time to make sure that it ends up in a more suitable home. So I think that needs to be my focus this week. God, it is all starting to feel real. I've been trying to do this for so long now. The house, I think we first started talking about it in August. For context, Charlie moved in last July. So pretty much the whole time we've lived together, we've had this in mind. So that it's been how long? Like 7 months now? Longer. Oh my God, longer. We're in March already. Like 7 or 8 months, yeah. But so it's all felt very like fictional for a long time. But soon it will be very much real. And I think it would be really easy to feel really overwhelmed by that. And I do. I can tell I feel really overwhelmed because I nap a lot more. Like when I feel really anxious, overwhelmed, or like my brain is really full, all I want to do is sleep. It's so like counterproductive. It's so annoying. But so I can tell I'm really overwhelmed because I could nap 4 times a day at the minute. I don't, because I got too much to do, but I could. And I think when I feel like that, there's a tendency to just get like paralyzed, isn't there, and not really do anything. But that will make it so much worse at the other end, that I'm trying to just tell myself to do little steps each day. So today we're gonna get rid of some stuff and make some money on Vinted, which will be good. That might put it towards hiring the van or something. I actually haven't even looked into how much that is going to cost me. I need to do that. But it sort of doesn't really matter how much it's going to cost me, because I'm going to have to do it anyway, aren't I? So when I moved to London, I really cashed in a lot of favours from family members, and like my whole family were driving up and down to help me with the move. But I was like in my early 20s then. I feel like now I'm 28, I'm going to be 29 soon, and like I feel like I'm too old to make it everyone else's problem. So I'm trying to do as much of it by myself as I can. Well, like with Charlie obviously, but I'm trying not to call in too many favours, although I'm sure they will be happy to help at some point. But let's see. Okay,
I haven't even brushed my hair today.
Why are we so far away from one another?
To be fair, yeah, and also like I'm just really like sunk down in the chair like a little goblin as well. If I sat up straight, my head would sort of be on the roof.
Charity shop done. It was actually totally fine, and they didn't look in my box and tell me that I stink.
Why did we both get so nervous about it as well? Because the bags that I took to the charity shop today, guess how long they've been in my house?
How long?
Since I moved.
Jessica, you mean since September?
Yeah, they've been there since I moved house.
That's bad.
They've been there a really long time, and that is so bad. But it's because, like, a couple of different reasons. Firstly, ADHD, so like I just do procrastinate things naturally. Like that is just part of who I am and the way my brain works. Secondly, there is something about going to the charity shop that makes me feel so unbelievably like
it's
nervous.
I think it's a fear of rejection thing.
Yes, it is, because I'm scared that they're gonna go, we can't accept that.
But also, like, it's on the list of stuff that they accept. So, like, when you say it, I go, well, obviously they're not going to do that.
And I did the same to you when you were like, I need to go to the charity shop, but I'm worried. And I was like, obviously they're going to take that, that's fine. And I always worry that, like, I've slipped in some contraband. Like, I never put anything in a charity shop bag that isn't, like, good enough to be sold on.
No.
But I always worry that, you know, some places like accept different stuff. Like some do homeware, some don't, or like they have like a little list of things they won't take. I think I'm always worried that there's something where they're going to go, we can't take this. And because of that, they'll just sort of like give me the whole bag back instead of like the one thing that they can't take. But like,
or it'll be like at an airport when you have to unpack your bag.
And it's just so embarrassing. And then they like ask you questions as well, like they're like, are you signed up for gift aid? And I'm like, oh, please, I don't want to talk to you, I just want to give you this bag and get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know why it makes me so nervous, but anyway,
it's done.
We successfully did it, and they didn't tell us to unpack our bags,
and they didn't call us mean names, because I always get worried they're gonna go, oh, you stink, get out of here.
Yeah, and
you're ugly.
We've got little sweet treats to say well done.
We're actual children.
We went to Blank Street, and I've got a milk chocolate and sea salt cookie, and they said, do you want it heated? And I said yeah, and then you got one and you didn't want it heated.
No, I didn't.
So they gave you yours straight away, and then they gave me mine about 5 minutes later, but it's not heated, and it wasn't heated.
But to be fair, you've now like not eaten it for such a long time because we've been chatting shit about like other stuff, that like even if you had it, even if it was heated properly, it would still be cold by now anyway.
True. This is a strawberries and cream latte.
And how is that?
Good.
I'm always worried about stuff. When they sort of start putting fruit in it, I get scared. You can't really smell stuff through a straw. I almost like really stuck it up my nostril as well. And then I was like,
watched you do it. Yeah. I was like, that's been in my mouth, and I want to put it back in there.
I really had to stop myself because I was like, that's not my straw. I can't put it on my nose. And the thing is, I don't even want to put my own straw up my nose. Oh no. Oh, I'm crying. I'm crying. I don't like that.
Fair enough.
Oh god. I can see the appeal, but I don't like strawberry milkshake or strawberry ice cream really. So I wouldn't get that personally, but I can see that if you like things like that, it would be nice.
You like it?
Because it's not super offensive.
Yeah.
I got pistachio latte, however. Fantastic.
I like those as well.
Always very good. Never lets me down. Other than when we were in New York, that let me down.
Oh yeah.
I went, I'll go for this one because it's my favourite. It's a safe bet. I started drinking it. I was like, this is horrible.
So obviously I had this once before, and sort of was a bit confused by it to begin with, but then ultimately enjoyed it. Then when I went to Disney World, at every kiosk, like coffee kiosk called Joffrey's at Disney World, they have like a different signature coffee. And one that was just outside Animal Kingdom, it was called like the Banana Savannah, which doesn't work well in a UK accent because it doesn't rhyme.
Yeah.
But it was strawberries and banana flavoured. And I was like, oh, that'll be nice because I like the strawberries Blank Street one. It was disgusting. It was literally the worst coffee I've ever had in my life. I was so upset.
I can't believe your thought process behind that was, that will be nice because I like the Blank Street one.
I think I just got a bit overexcited.
Other things, I can understand getting excited, like overexcited, and wanting to try new things when you're in places where it's like specific to that place.
And it was like the special, you can only get it at that one. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm probably never going to get another coffee from here.
Well, yeah, because I'm worried about like missing out.
Yeah.
So I do often go, well, I must get it while I'm here. I would, well, I mean, I don't like banana anyway, so I never would have got that. But even from no, that just sounds bad.
That is one thing. When I moved to Norwich, I'm going to have to learn to make my own decent coffee because there are like coffee shop availability in like the little villages.
Save a lot of money in the long run, to be fair.
That is true.
Because actually, I don't buy anywhere near as many coffees out.
Do you know?
Since getting my Sage machine.
That's interesting. And when I am going to invest in a proper coffee machine.
When I bought it, I like was sort of leaking tears out of my eyes as I was putting in my card number to pay for it because it is really expensive. I got it on, I want to say like maybe Black Friday. So I did get it for like with a discount. I think they're about £630 normally, and I paid about 500 for it, I think.
Okay.
Maybe they're not, I don't know. I paid about 500, usually they're more. And I was literally like so unbelievably upset as I was purchasing it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Every day since, I've been like, thank God I bought that. Like, it's been such a worthwhile investment.
I really think, like, I often find myself going to the shop and buying like little bottled coffees, because when I make them at home they just don't taste good. Charlie's better at it than I am. Charlie's coffee tastes better than my coffee. I don't know why.
I think that is actually in the same way someone cooking you dinner tastes better. It's actually just because you haven't had to put the effort in. But actually, even when I'm using the coffee machine, I still go, actually, now that I'm like a bit better at using it, because at first I was like, oh, this is shit. But that was a me problem, not the machine problem. But actually now I go, oh my God, that's a nice coffee.
Fair.
And I bought it because I was sick of paying for like Nespresso pods and always going, that's fine. Like they're not bad, but I would often go, that's just, it's not great.
It's not coffee shop coffee.
No. But now having coffee shop coffee, and I like, it's really fun buying all the different beans and like trying to find which one that you like the most.
Well, maybe when you come and visit me in Norwich, I'll have a signature coffee.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Will it be banana and strawberry?
Might be.
I don't want it then.
Although, so I'm sad to be leaving the coffee shops, but I'm excited about being able to park places.
Oh.
The run that we just had to do at the charity shop, it was like parked in like a loading bay in a bus lane. And like, am I going to get a ticket? Who knows?
Maybe. It's alright, we'll go halves on it if you do.
And we had such heavy stuff.
Yeah, that even having to take it like a couple of steps, if you were parked any further, it would just be impossible.
Oh my God.
Which is, I think, another reason why I put it off for such a long time. Obviously, I only had a car recently. So for the first couple of months of me moving house, those charity shop bags were sort of there because I was like, well, can't do anything about that. But now that I have a car, even still, that didn't make me take them.
Sometimes you need a little push.
Yeah, and sometimes just getting things done together helps.
Body doubling.
Yes,
We love a body doubling moment. And even picking you up. Like, it was like I have to like ring her on hands free when I'm around the corner, so she can like run out jumping through the window.
Isn't it? Yeah, and this is the one thing
you
that
like
really
can't park anywhere in London. But
like,
not where we live anyway.
Yeah, certainly not where I live as well. Like, my area is particularly difficult, and when I moved house I didn't have a car, so it wasn't something that I needed to think about. And then as soon as I got my car and I needed to start applying for like parking permits, sometimes my car is parked like more than a 5-minute walk away from my house, and that is crazy.
In Norwich, like in the city centre, obviously there's like parking restrictions, but like in the little villages there is literally no parking signs. Like, you can just do what you want.
I know, it's crazy. And the thought of like, when we eventually move out of London, so when we buy, the thought of having a driveway is so silly, but like, it fills me with such joy. I go, oh my God, my car will just be like outside my house.
It will.
Instead of a 5-minute walk away. But that's like, I don't know, a couple of years off for us. We're not gonna buy yet, and I don't think we'll leave London until we do buy, but we need to figure out like where we'll go, and that's like a big question mark for us at the moment.
I think you should go to Norwich.
I don't think Ollie would accept that for some reason.
Dump him.
Maybe I will. That's fine. I'm just gonna pack
don't
up.
do that.
I won't, no. But we need to go somewhere where he can still get back to central London for his job, because I can work from anywhere. He sort of can and can't. He is self-employed and can do a lot of his work from home, but when he's having meetings with clients and like important people, he needs to be able to get to London easily enough. And even though Norwich is easy, I think the distance for how often he would need to do it is a bit too far. So we need to start like working out sort of like locations of places.
Come in that direction.
I think we probably would, because sometimes he goes, we'll move like sort of down south because his family are in Brighton, and I go
direction. What about sort of north and a little bit east?
That way. I go, how about sort of we don't do that? And he goes, why not? And I go, because most of the people we know live that way. So like, even though we do have some people that we love that are that way, that's not where we should base ourselves. Like, they're worth the journey, but we need to be that way. But I think what we're gonna do is like start plotting things on a map of like,
oh, that's fun.
Sort of like what fits the criteria of like what we want a location to like have and to be, and how easy it is to get to London, and to the other places that we need to go for like other people or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like start visiting them.
Now that you drive as well, that will be a lot easier. Like,
yeah, we can do like cute little weekends away, particularly now that he's now not working over the weekends as well, because that's been a big thing for him lately.
Yeah.
We'll just bugger off for a weekend.
That's so fun.
And we'll go to
you
like,
should vlog it.
I probably will when we get around to it. We haven't started yet, but we'll bugger off to like Peterborough. I don't know.
Peterborough's
Oxfordshire.
gonna be near me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just need to like throw a dart at a map, see where it goes. Actually, that would go really badly wrong for me.
Yeah.
I'd end up in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, that's going to be like a fun little experiment.
And also, like, when it comes to Ollie's family and stuff, the people that you know who are like down south, it's similar to Charlie's family. Like, they're from south of London, not South London, but like south of London as well.
Down that way.
And actually, even though miles wise it takes a lot longer, no, it's like a much longer
miles.
journey from Norwich to where they live. It's actually only 10 minutes longer in the car because you don't have to come in and out of London, and like traffic around London moves so slowly, and also all the speed limits within London as well. Yeah, and so that was kind of a factor for us as well. Like, obviously obviously my family are from Norwich, so to me that was, you know, a fairly easy decision. But like, when you have to take the extra stuff into consideration, you go, oh, that's actually not that bad. And actually for a while we considered, or well, actually even before I was with Charlie, when I was thinking about the fact that I knew I didn't want to be in London forever, I was thinking about being somewhere in between the two. Like, maybe I'll go to Cambridge or Suffolk. And Cambridge is good. Shut maybe I'll go for a weekend now. Yeah. But then I thought, that's all well and good for the big things. For someone's birthday, it wouldn't be very, or like even like a barbecue, it wouldn't be very difficult to travel to Norwich or to London. Yeah. But then I realised that like the day to day, you'd almost be if like, I need someone to hold my hand and walk me into a charity shop, I don't know anyone in Cambridge. Exactly. Whereas like I've got volunteers who will do that in Norwich. Oh, you've got so many. Meg. Yeah, she'll love that. And so yeah, in the end I sort of realised it doesn't actually make sense plonking yourself in the middle. Like, actually the middle it wasn't right. Yeah. And like, moving all the way back to Norwich does feel a little bit scary, because I didn't really think I would ever do that. I think a lot of people do that though, when they like leave where they're from, they go, and I'm never coming back. Yeah. But then sometimes if you go, actually it kind of feels right to go back. I don't have to be there forever. I was gonna say, like, you're not like tying yourself to the county of Norfolk. No, like, I don't have to be there. You could go back for 5 years and go, cool, done now. Now I'm gonna move to Manchester if you want to. I don't know how you feel about Manchester. I love Manchester, actually. Well, there you go then. Maybe you'll go there. Maybe I'll go there. He'll learn to love it. That's fine. He will. But yeah, like, I don't know. When I am in Norwich, I go, oh my god, I'm so excited to be moving back here. Like, everything feels so much calmer. Yeah. I love even when I used to come to Norwich with you a lot, I used to go, god, it's nice here. The fact that like it's just less busy, and you can get places. You can come and stay. Yeah, but like sort of once you've ripped up all the mouldy carpets, you can help if you want. I don't want to touch the carpets. Fair enough. That's not my job. I'll do something else. You can help me tile the kitchen. And yes, everyone I'll do that. With a brain keeps saying to me, just hire someone. I'm going, no! That's no fun. Things I've got a brain, unfortunately, but no, that's no fun. We both have the how hard could it be gene. Yeah, I've got that big time. And do you know what I'm really good at? What? Pinterest boards. Yeah. I'm going to be doing a lot of them. Right. I need to go home and pack some more things. Yeah, that's so true. And I need to go and just tap on my screens. I feel like I've spent this whole vlog in the car, but I think we're going to finish this here. We've been thinking a lot about the houses that we saw. We actually saw 8 in one day, but I stopped filming after like the morning session, because honestly, like, viewing that many houses in one go, I thought it was the best way to do it, because if we're going to go all the way to Norwich, it gives us like the best chance of finding one that we really like. But actually it just sort of meant that everything like merged together, and I think it was sort of clouding our judgment because we were like really just tired and done, especially by the end. Like, I know the last house I didn't even really give a shot, because I was just like, oh, I'm done now. So I think 8 was too many. I think maybe 6 would be okay. So for next time, I think 6 is probably our max. The viewings were sort of we were obviously basing our opinions on like the house itself and like the area that it seemed to be in. Since then, we've gone away and done like some research on like Zoopla. They have this thing that shows you like what else is sold in the area and how much for. And basically we're just trying to make sure that the houses that we buy are like within a reasonable range of the stuff that's around it, just to try to make sure that it's a smart financial decision, even though it feels like an absolute minefield. But based on all of that information and how we felt about it, there is one that we liked that's a bit of a front runner, and it's really stuck in my mind, and it's the one that we viewed that had the weird workshop. I don't know if I'll put clips in, I can't remember if I've got any. But basically the workshop is weird, and I don't think we'd necessarily want to keep the workshop, although it does have an asbestos ceiling, we think, so that might get complicated. But the actual house itself, there was like this archway in between the kitchen and the dining room that really sold it to me. And I also love the fact the living room was like a square rather than a long living room. A lot of the ones that we saw had really long living rooms, and I'm definitely being overly picky here because I'm sure we could make a long living room lovely. But one of my least favourite things about the flat is how long the kitchen, living room, dining room area is, because and also it's got windows all around it. So like there's no sort of cozy little corner, and all I want is a cozy little corner, maybe even a corner sofa, God forbid. So yeah, I don't really know what the balance is between being like, you need to be picky because it's such a big expense and like you need to be happy living there, but also like you can't be too picky because like we don't have an unlimited budget, we're gonna have to compromise on something. So I think, yeah, we're just trying to make sure that it's a really like smart decision as best we can, although there's always surprises with these things that you don't know about, like it could need rewiring and we wouldn't even know, but we'll do the best we can. It kind of feels like maybe we should put the house viewings on pause, although I'd quite like to put an offer in on that one I really like. I can really see us living there. I can just really imagine us there and the cats there. And I love the big bay windows. I just want to put a Christmas tree in the big bay window. But I can't buy a house just based on where I want to put my Christmas tree. Can I? Can I? No, probably not. Anyway, thank you for watching Moving Diaries #1. I don't know how many of these there will be. Hopefully not that many, because I hope this process doesn't take too long, but probably quite a few. I can't believe I'll actually be able to talk about it by the time this comes out. It feels like I'm being so sneaky, like filming all this when you guys don't even know about it yet. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Please put in the comments, I was gonna say a tip for moving house, but actually I will have already moved out by the time you see this probably. So in that case, can I have any tips for buying a new house? Words of wisdom there would be very helpful, because I feel totally lost. When I bought the flat, it was a new build, so it was like, yes, everything will work, there's a warranty on it. I bought it off plan, so like I couldn't even go and look around it. I just looked around the show home and then picked a floor plan and hoped for the best. This feels like a whole new kettle of fish, and I don't think boiled fish water sounds very nice. Oh, I hope we find something good. Okay, I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.